guys? This is Mateo's 2020 Politics here. You might notice some bags under my eyes, and I'm going to explain why. So, I was on a Philadelphia field trip with my school. There's about 100 kids in my grade, it's 7th grade. And 70 of them came, I believe, so it's about 2/3 roughly. We went to we went to a video game center, we did some nice stuff before we headed into a hotel. And so we arrived at the hotel at about 9. And from 9 to 10 we could be moved, and we all had rooms that we had to be assigned with certain people. So I had a room. I'm not gonna say his name. I'm just gonna call him Jay because that's the first letter of his name. So I was in a room with a kid named Jay. And next door was a friend of mine named Nathaniel. So basically, from 9 to 10, we were running from each other's rooms. I was going into a kid's room downstairs. There were 4 kids sleeping there. There was Malachi, Josh. Wait, why am I saying their names? Yeah, just a few pretty kids who like chatting about politics with me. Actually, you don't know who they are. I guess Malachi, Josh, and Jason. So we're just chilling. But then curfew is at 10, so we have to be in our rooms. And later than that, far after the curfew, the teachers will start coming around and taping our doors. It's not so it prevents us from getting out of the rooms after the curfew. It's more that if we were to open our door after the curfew, the tape would either be torn or it would be untaped because it would be on the outside, so they would don't notice it. So it's about 10. It's a few minutes after, and Jay and I are chilling in our room. And there's freaking kids outside just running around, and we're like, it's after curfew, what are you doing? So, I had bags under my eyes because I only slept 2 hours, and I'm gonna get right to the point. I don't mean to be stalling you, and I'm not actually. I'm just trying to build. I'm trying to build it up, like the background information. So basically, I know there's one room that had 4 kids in it, and another one had 3. But in their wall, they were connected via a door. So there were 7 kids freaking partying in the room, like down upstairs, and they didn't sleep at all. A couple of them didn't stay up the whole night. So basically, from 10 to 10:30ish, it's chaotic. I'm kind of confused. Nathaniel and I are kind of chilling out in the hallway. But then he goes back into his room. I go back into my room where Jay is. He's talking with his friends on the phone. Later, the teachers come by, tape our doors shut, and I don't want to break any of the rules, so I'm not going to be leaving, because first of all, I don't want to be suspended. Second of all, I want to be able to come to the next trip. And third of all, I don't want to look dumb, because if I open the door when it's taped, it's going to show. So basically, the teachers come in, they tell us they're going to tape it, blah, 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 they do it to every room at about 10:40, I think. So then, I stay up for a while, although Jay goes to sleep earlier than me. Nathaniel's next door, so I'm watching a series called Turn on Netflix. It's about the spies in the Revolutionary War. Pretty nice long series. And so then basically, I end up dozing off in my bed at about 12:45. And around 12:30 or something, and then around 2:30, I'm in bed and I hear a loud alarm, and I'm just like, oh Jesus Christ! So this is an Amber Alert because they scared the living hell out of me. So then, it says, attention, there is a fire. Please leave the building or something like that. So then I'm just sitting in bed and I hear that, and so I turn into full on hero mode. I get energetic. I rush up to the sleeping Jay in the next bed. I start shaking him, and I'm like, bro, wake up, there's a freaking fire. And so then he's waking up, he's like, ugh. And then the announcement repeats again a few seconds later, saying there's a fire, and he starts opening his eyes, and he's like, oh my god. So I played the hero, I guess. I just kind of focused on somebody else before myself. And I saw my pants on the floor. And again, it was 2:45. It was 2:30. So you might be thinking you must be tired as hell, but when you hear there's a freaking fire, oh my god, I'm in the middle of it happens in the films. I'm experiencing something in the films. And I couldn't smell any smoke, but like the moment I heard it, I wasn't tired anymore. So basically, I see my pants on the floor, and I think, do I have enough time to put my pants on? Turns out it did, luckily. And I remember I look at my backpack and I'm like, okay, I'm leaving my backpack. I'm going with Jay. I'm leaving. I bring my wallet and my phone. I leave my computer and my backpack and everything else, but I have my pajamas on. There are kids in the hallways running around, scared, and we get down. Yeah, we get outside. We're all, as well as the other hotel guests, and like the 70 of us are all lined up. We're doing a head count, basically. It turns out Nathaniel was missing, and then another kid, I believe it was Julian or something. He was missing, but then he shows up. Nathaniel doesn't, and I remember I'm worried, and I'm looking. I remember I'm looking for certain people, and I'm looking. Hey, are they here? Because if they're in the building and it's on fire inside, crap. I mean, out of out of all the days, out of all the trips, out of all the people, why do we have to be in a freaking hotel when it lights on fire? Why? So we're outside doing a head count. My adrenaline is still kind of up, so I'm still shivering because it's kind of cold. I didn't get my jacket or anything because I just kind of darted out. And so we're doing a head count. We go back inside, and a half an hour must have passed by. Because I looked at the time, and at least a half an hour because it was about 2:40ish when we got back in our rooms. Nathaniel had apparently held up in his room, which was next door to ours. He had slept through the whole thing apparently, which is absolutely insane. I mean, it must have been a minor fire because we saw a couple of firefighters outside. Nobody was hurt, but I had a crazy thought because earlier we were doing a Philadelphia college tour, and there was like a kind of little thing on the ground, like a large ring, kind of carved into the ground. And according to tourists, we step on it, we might get cursed or something, or it's like bad luck. So I stepped on it as we were walking by, just to entertain my friends, and then some other kids stepped on it. Guess what? A freaking fire happens, and I know, and for me in that situation, that my heart dropped. I was like, my gosh, this is related. This is scary. I'm scared because this might be related. And so, my Jay is basically talking to his friends through the phone, and they're saying, and I'm agreeing with them, that we're too scared to go to sleep because we think it might be another freaking alarm. And I know it won't be, but we're still scared to go to sleep. So I will admit I didn't fall asleep again. I mean, and like yeah. So for after the morning, yeah, I didn't fall asleep again. So I only slept 2 hours last night. That's why there are bags under my eyes. But then we went to a couple of museums and before we went on the bus and came back here to NYC from Philly. And so what was I going to say? Oh yeah, that at first I was energetic, but then I started getting really tired. Like I felt like as if I was in virtual reality. So like I see my cat, I see Eddie, which is a friend of mine, but I don't feel like I'm actually there. Like I'm spaced out. I just felt straight up spaced out for like hours after the morning because of how tired I was. So yeah, I mean, turns out some guy thought it was funny to tripped the alarm, and we all got scared and ran out because there was no fire. Nobody was hurt. So yeah, guys, that's my crazy story. Nobody got hurt or anything. See you guys later, and bye.